Good evening. I am dressed as Mr. Motivator. That's what happens when one of the ladies says, oh, you must be dressing up today as it's so hot. So, thought I would do my part and dress as Mr. Motivator for tonight's core blast workout that we just did. But anyway, wanted to speak tonight about the one little thing that could help you with snacking. Now, if you watched our live Q&A with, not Q&A, but podcast with Dr. Adam Bibby the other day, you would have known that we talked about, good evening, Jackie, we talked about how snacking is often portrayed as a bad thing, when actually sometimes it's okay. It depends what you snack on. Total calories is always king. So sometimes we perceive snacking as negative before even deciding if it's part of our plan or not. So if you've been told snacking is bad, any snack becomes bad, which is obviously then can cause that vicious cycle, and then as a result of that we end up, our subsequent actions actually are the issue rather than the thing in itself. Evening, Heather. So I wanted to just jump on and talk about one little trick that might help with this. Now, you've got to find your one thing. If snacking is an issue for you, in this scenario, this is just something that I went over, and I always like to give examples of conversations that I've had with people, because I get that my kind of theory, if you like, is if someone's thinking it, you're probably thinking it too, potentially. And in this situation, one of the ladies, she was struggling with her snacking, wasn't really sure why she was eating. She wasn't hungry, but she still ate anyway. And it was getting to the point where she was like, you know what, I'm still doing it. I know I shouldn't do it, but all of a sudden I eat it. I know I shouldn't do it, all of a sudden I eat it. Ever get that? So we went for a few things, and one of the things was really looking at the real cost of snacking. In her situation, this could be monetary. This could be like, how much money do I spend eating when I'm not hungry? When you actually total it up, it can be quite a good exercise to do, by the way. But more so than this, even more so than this, was to her carbon footprint was a really important thing. And you could say that, you know, that's, bringing that up is her thing. So she's very kind of into that. And, you know, she talks about it a lot with her food choices. But then if you think about it, okay, if I eat when I'm not hungry, like, and that's, I know it can sound like a bit of that's obsessive thing to say. But if we're on one hand talking about, you know, I'm not gonna eat this food because of the carbon footprint, but then I'm just eating when I'm not hungry, you could argue that your carbon footprint is then a lot higher because you're eating food that you don't need. Okay, this is why it's so individual. That was the one thing that really stuck. We could talk about playing with the grandkids, health, diabetes, cardiovascular disease, blood pressure, cholesterol, all these things didn't really hit it. But that carbon footprint was her thing. It's like very passionate about that. And she's found that, and that she's finally got the leverage, the motivation to go, actually, yeah, when I'm eating when I'm not hungry, it's going against my values. And when you're aligning your actions with your values, you'll be happier. You'll find that motivation. You'll find it easier to do the things. My point here is you've got to find what you value and align your actions with that, regardless of what other people say or think. If you do what you value, you'll be happier. And you might just feel a bit more in control of snacking, because snacking's not necessarily bad. It's your thoughts about it that's probably the issue. For example, we had a coffee morning earlier with some of the ladies, and we spoke about snacking then, like protein snacks. Do you actually need a protein snack? Do you need to snack? Depends on your meals. Depends on a lot of things, but we went through a few snacking ideas, a few things that come up that I'll just share. Generic stuff, carrots, hummus, boiled eggs. A few other stuff was like the Halo ice cream. A few of the ladies said that they don't snack anymore and they actually just have bigger meals. Like they used to not eat carbs, but now they eat carbs at their lunch so they don't snack. It's another thing to think about. The more convenient and easy your snack is, probably the more likely you're to eat more of it. That's why I prefer things like yogurt, fruits are always good. But yeah, looking at snacking as part of your plan rather than something that is bad. But find what you value. That's the key thing. Hope that helps. I am off to the next session. I'm not going to get changed because, well, it's roasting hot. I'm sweating just doing this video. Anyway, hope that helps. Any questions, let me know, and speak soon.